A grandmother was left spooked after a human skull and dozens of bones were dumped in her garden by grave-wrecking badgers. Ann Mathers, 88, called the police after making the grim discovery, which also saw several femurs and jawbones scattered in her flower beds. The grandmother, who has lived in her N Terrace house in Dudley, in England's West Midlands region, for more than 60 years, was said to be scared to death by the grave-robbing critters. She first found the skull last July and called the police, who initially sealed her home off as a potential crime scene. Officers then discovered the culprit was a colony of badgers dragging the remains into her garden from a nearby cemetery. It emerged the animals were getting access to the graveyard via a public footpath running between the cemetery and Mather's house. Her family has appealed to Dudley Metropolitan Borough Council for help, but they can only relocate the badgers when this year's breeding season is over. This problem has been going on for a year now, and my mom is just sick of it, said daughter Lorraine Lloyd, 60. The badgers are tunneling under the graves, and when they come across one which has collapsed, they drag the bones out and dump them in Mom's garden. They are basically fly-tipping human remains all over my mom's lawn, and there's nothing we can do about it. Mathers, whose home backs into the graveyard at Providence Baptist Church, first noticed bones being left outside her home last year. Lloyd, a civil servant, added, "I was on holiday when my mom called me in hysterics, saying she'd found a human skull in the bushes. I didn't know what on earth was going on, but when I went over there, I couldn't believe my eyes. There were human remains everywhere. We called police and they sealed it off as a crime scene. I don't know if they thought it could be a possible murder victim, but pretty soon they found lots of holes in the garden where the badgers had been digging through." Lloyd, who has 3 children and lives near her mom in Dudley, said her mother has found numerous bones over the last 12 months. "Behind my mom's house is a gully, and then it's the graveyard. One night she came down and found 7 badgers on her lawn. She just wants the badgers gone, but apparently the council can't move them until the breeding season is over. It must be very distressing for people if they found their relatives' remains were being dug up." Town Councilor Shaz Saleen, cabinet member for Highways, said, "As badgers are a protected species, we are in the process of obtaining the services of a qualified ecologist to help us further." Councilor Adam Aston, who represents the Woodsetten ward, said, "I work as a paramedic, so I'm not easily shocked, but the sight of so many human remains within the public right-of-way and in people's back gardens stopped me in my tracks. I hope urgent work can now be undertaken to strengthen the boundary with the churchyard and prevent any further burrowing into the public area. We completely understand that badgers have a protected status in law, particularly in the breeding season, and the council finds itself in a difficult position, but we hope this disrespectful situation can be resolved and the right-of-way reopened for public use. It is quite distressing for our constituents."